Ethan is my son. No questions, no doubts about it.
None.
Why would we believe a word out of your mouth? You've been lying to us from day one.
Hi.
If you're here to pitch a case for Ethan Lovett, I will pass, okay?
I know that you're ticked that I'm okay with him being our brother.
Or not. You know, it seems that Holly's been lying about everything.
Well, I would like it if she and Dad were his parents. I like Ethan. I think it would be nice for Dad to have one kid who isn't pissed at him.
You aren't.
Well, I was for a very long time.
But now that you know Dad fooled around on Mom, all is forgiven?
Look, a lot of men cheat. Dylan cheated on Georgie with me. Johnny and Logan cheated on me with Maxie. How can I be upset with Dad for being true to form?
Don't you find that a little cynical?
You're pissed off enough for the both of us.
Dad betrayed our mother. And you know what I don't understand is why it doesn't bother you.
Dad has never claimed to be anything other than who he is. So what has he really done that you can't forgive?
We were trapped and we thought we were going to die. Our emotions were all over the place. We were clinging on to life the only way that we could. And am I describing this accurately?
Tell it your way, English.
When we managed to escape, Luke went back to Laura and Lucky in South America, and I wished him well. And then later I found out I was pregnant, which was quite unexpected, to say the least.
Why didn't you track me down? Why didn't you tell me?
I couldn't have done that to you and Laura. You were married, and you had a child.
And you didn't want to be a mother.
It wouldn't have been fair to you, Ethan. I was back working cons with my family, and I didn't want you to grow up the way that I had. I knew that eventually you would have grown up and started asking questions, and I would have been tempted to tell you about Luke, and maybe even gone after him. I worried about it for weeks, for months. And then, after you were born, I made the only choice that I could. Was to put you up for adoption.
So basically you couldn't wait to get rid of me.
I don't know, it was just different for you. Mom and Dad, they were fighting all the time when you were growing up.
Mom was happy at home, Dad. He was happier on the road.
I know, and I was with him all the time. We were a team. Dad was my hero.
And now you know he wasn't heroic after all.
I know it shouldn't matter, but it does.
People aren't perfect. Dad certainly isn't. I'm not either. But you gotta love them anyway. Because they're the only family that you have.
Giving you up was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. After you were born, I held you in my arms and I felt the most overwhelming love. But I told myself that I had to let you go because I couldn't keep you with me, drag you around from place to place. I knew that if I really cared about you, then I had to let you be with a family that loved you and protected you. And eventually I just picked up my life where I'd left off and I went back to running scams and making money.
But I've seen you since this boy was born, and you never said a word. You never so much as threw me a bone.
I didn't know what had happened to our son. But after I had seen you, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I went back and I started digging, and I found out that his adoptive parents had both died when he was 15, and now he was an orphan.
So you thought I was going to be all alone and vulnerable? It was the perfect time to drop in and take advantage of me.
No. No, I wanted to know that you had grown up, loved and cared for.
Oh, don't worry about that. My parents were wonderful. But that doesn't excuse what you did.
I didn't have a choice.
I don't mean giving me up. I mean the lies you've told since you found me.
Hey. This is Miss Lulu.
Oh.
Unless I'm being tag teamed.
All right, yes, I called her, but only because I'm concerned about you. I brought brownies to cheer you up.
No, seeing you cheers me up.
So has there been an update on whether or not Ethan is really your brother?
I'm not sure I even care anymore. What happened happened, whether Holly got pregnant or not.
Is there anything I can do?
No, it's just about me letting go of my childhood fantasy that I thought I had.
No, what you had was real.
No, I thought my father was much better than this.
Oh, Lucky, all kids idealize their parents. But yeah, it's a rude awakening finding out the real person doesn't quite measure up.
I'm a grown-up. And I don't even know why I haven't even let this go.
But in spite of all of Luke's faults, your mom and dad genuinely loved each other.
He's got a funny way of showing that. It's over and I have to move on.
You know, in all the years that I've known you, there's one thing I'm certain of. You will never be able to move on from your dad.
I have no excuse for my lies. I can only tell you what was going through my mind at the time.
Finish your story. I want to hear this. You tracked Ethan down.
And I found him working at the resort. And I knew the moment that I saw you. You were such a wonderful combination of Luke and me. Tall and lanky like your father and dark like me, and yet with a style and a charm all of your own. I couldn't take my eyes off you.
You're good.
I'm telling you the truth, Ethan. All the emotions that I felt when I held you as a baby came flooding back. And yet at the same time, I was so reminded of Luke, the way you were working the bar, you were chatting up the customers, and you were so easy and personable. And I knew then and there that Luke should have a chance to know you.
Why didn't you just tell the kid all this? Why didn't you tell me this? Why all these games? Why did you do this to us?
I didn't know how you would react. So I set the wheels in motion and I gave you the photograph, and I left it to chance. And if you were meant to connect, then you would.
And we did.
And we did. And we could have years ago. This is not just your son, Holly. This is my son. And your plan gave us no choice in the deal. You kept him away from me and me away from him his whole life. And now you just want to come in and you suddenly want him to know me. Why? Why all these games?
I don't know. I just wanted